What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and today we're getting DIY Embellishy. And I've been desperately trying lately to use up my scraps because I have this box of collagey bits and pieces. I say box, it's more like a giant accumulating pile of what some may mistake as rubbish, but I treasure and know that I have a specific purpose for each and every bit somewhere, someday. So I've got this big box of stuff and I want to try and use it in a few different ways. So I've been trying to incorporate some bits into art journal pages and even some layouts lately. And so today I wanted to use the latest birthday collection from Crepe Paper and make some DIY embellishments, because I don't know about you guys, but I struggle quite a lot with birthday themed or really heavily themed scrapbook collections, and so I thought this might be a cute way to make them into a bit more of an appealing thing to reach for in my stash, and so that I can either use them on layouts or even on card fronts. I could stick one to a piece of folded cardstock and it could be a card, or in my project life. And there was a few bits on the cardstock that I wasn't a huge fan of, and look, if I was looking for an embellishment and I had to choose between like a gold glitter heart or something from there, I would probably go with the gold glitter heart. And so that's why I feel like if I make them a bit more interesting to my eye, then I'll use them. So I've got a whole collection of tags. I've got some old ones that I think I got these ones from Studio Calico. They might have been some of my first scrapbook products years and years ago. I've got some that I've just cut out of Basil cardstock. I think they're the only two that I've got. And I've got my collection of cheapy $2 shop paints today. And boy, oh boy, do some of these tags turn out bright. They're very, very bright. I used some fluoro paint that I've been loving lately. It's a pink one. And I just thought it would be a bit fun. I don't know, birthdays always make me think of rainbow colours, and I know I've been creeping into the brights a lot lately, like the real brights, but I was just in the mood for something a little bit colourful. We're now technically in autumn, but today, for example, I think is 37 degrees Celsius in some parts of Sydney and outer Sydney, and so it's still quite hot and summery, even though we're in autumn. So I'm just going through and I'm just slapping some paint on with a thick brush. This is so easy to do. This would also be a fun thing to do if you have kids and you wanted to bulk make a whole heap of like birthday cards for their friends for the year. You could make these little tags, or even if you don't want to make a tag shape, you could just make it on a square piece of cardstock and have them ready to go for when you need to pull them out. So I really like the way that the fluoro pink looks with the light pink, and I accidentally had my brush a little bit too watery for that one with the yellow, but it flowed in so nicely. And then this one I love, just a little bit of that pink over the top. So then I'm going through my scrappy pile of papers, and there's a whole range of stuff in there. There's some painted jelly plate prints that I'd done. There's little bits of here. This is some, I think it's Ranger tissue paper that's printed. And I think I had temporarily misplaced my matte gel medium, or it was up too high and I couldn't quite reach it. So I'm just using a glue stick, and it seemed to stick everything quite well. And I'm just going through and kind of doing a combination of trying to stick to some color schemes on each of the tags. So I'm trying to make this one a bluey pink one. That sticker is actually from my very first month of printables, which is almost 2 years ago now. And I printed the art print on some sticker paper, and I've still got that hanging around. Here, I very, very sillily forgot to take off both layers of the white that's on the back of this serviette or napkin, and so it didn't stick down properly, and I do run into a bit of trouble in a little while with that, but yeah, I'll get to that when I destroy this tag a little bit. I have loved that number paper. Here we go. I realize that I haven't stuck it down properly, and I rip it, and It's all right, you just kind of smudge things around and we'll cover it up in a moment and you won't know. That number pattern paper is one of my favorites that I've ever got from Studio Calico, and I've been hoarding this tiny little strip of it because I knew I could use it for something, and I thought numbers are a great thing to incorporate with birthdays, because every birthday means a new number, and so I just thought that would be fun to add. I'm doing a combination of ripping some of the bits of paper and then also cutting them just to give it a bit more texture, and it also makes it look a bit more collaged, I feel. This is the tiniest little scrap of a doodled flower that I think I had. Some of these pieces I do wonder why I keep them, but I'm glad that I did. However, I've really got to make a dent in my stash because it's very easy to accumulate papers like this and just keep accumulating them and not actually use them. So let me know in the comments if you have a stash of these like collagey papers. So it's not quite just scrapbooking paper stash. It's more this, like this little piece is from a magazine. There's book pages, there's bits of painted experiment paper that I haven't had the heart to throw out. There's all sorts of bits and pieces. So when I was going through them, I tried to keep, I knew I had some tags that were a little bit bigger and then others that were smaller, and in my mind I really wanted to use up some of the pieces on the 12 by 12 cardstock sticker set from that crepe paper collection. Is it called Hooray? I feel like it's got Hooray in the title. I'm not sure what it is, but it's the one that came out, I think, just after CHA or just before CHA. And so I was trying to keep the bigger tags to be a little less or we'll use bigger pieces of these scrap bits of paper so that I could use some of the bigger chipboard stickers. So I knew that there were a lot that had cakes on them. I really wanted to try and use those up because I don't really eat cake, and we kind of only have cake when there's a birthday, and so it's not a sticker that I reach for often when just scrapping my day-to-day project life or a layout that's not birthday themed already. This particular tag with these weird painty splodgy bits was a bit of a tricky one. I don't know what I was thinking when I put the yellow on top of the blue, because it did turn green, as every normal person would imagine it would, but I don't know why that just, it left my mind for a little moment. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but I managed to cover it up and work with it. And I think that's a good thing about tags like this, is that when you do the painting step, if you don't like the particular color, or if you've accidentally had, blue paint on your brush and you're using yellow and it doesn't turn out quite right, then you can cover it up with the collage step, which is this step here. And then if you don't like how you've collaged stuff, then you've got the next step, which is to add stickers, which is what we're doing here. So you've got a few opportunities to cover up mistakes or things that you don't particularly like. So for these tags, I love to overhang things off the side. You guys know that. And today is no different. I just really wanted to make these look very plonked together in a thoughtful and arty kind of way. And so I do overlap a lot of the bits off the side, and then I have I think it's an EK Success powder tool that a beautiful inklet subscriber Alice sent me a while ago, and so I used that to just kind of de-stick, I guess you could say, the back of the stickers that were overhanging. Now, warning, I fight with my glue so very much in this, so much. It's getting towards the end of the bottle, and it's the bottle of glue that won't finish. It just keeps going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny for batteries. It just keeps going, and so I do end up with some big globs of glue that I just stick on my finger and end up using my finger as a bit of a paintbrush of glue. The party hats are another one that are a tricky thing for me. I don't know, they're a tricky thing. I think when you're just not used to using a particular icon or symbol, you're not likely to reach for it. And I feel like, especially with these little things, they're cute, but I'm not a super sequiny type person, and so they are definitely something that I really wanted to try and use, because I knew that in my regular scrapping I would never reach for them. Plus they're yellow, which is a colour I struggle with, but by having them on a pre-made tag, a pre-made embellishment, I'm more likely to pick the embellishment as a whole. And then if it gets to, you know, the end of the year and I still have any of these left over, then I can turn them into cards by just sticking them onto cardstock, or I can tie them to someone's present and write a little birthday message on the top. So it's a nice way to use your supplies and actually get them out of your stash, and make them more usable, but not needing to dump them all on one layout, if that makes sense. There are still a couple of pieces in there that were too big, because, as you guys know, American Crafts embellishments just seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger with every collection that comes out. And so there is a giant like ostrich thing, which I don't know where I'm going to use that. It was, I'm doing this month, by the way, because March is the raddest month in the whole year to have a birthday. So shout out to any of my March birthday peeps. I always try to make March a bit of a birthday themed month, because it's both Archie and I's birthday. I's? That's not a word. Mine and Archie's, there we go. Birthday in March, and so I'm right at the start and he's right at the end. So it's kind of a very birthday themed month. And we also have a few family members and friends that have birthdays right at the end of Feb and throughout March as well. So it's a busy month. I'm really glad that I used that sausage dog one, because that's another one that is tricky to reach for. My cousin actually has, I think she has 5 sausage dogs. I think it's 5. And so I always think of her whenever I see them, but I don't get to see her because she lives interstate. So I don't have a need for the sausage dog on a layout, but he's very cute. And I'm really hoping to use some of these. I've got quite a lot of photos for, we've had a couple of birthdays recently and of friends, so I'm hoping to use those, because I haven't actually started scrapping 2019 yet. I'm wrapping up. I'm hopefully filming the end of my couch scrapping this week, and so that's a video that you'll hopefully see at the end of March, I think. And I don't know, let me know your thoughts, because I'm still behind. Obviously I'm still doing 2018. I'm getting there, catching up, getting there slowly. I've still got like 3 albums worth of photos to do, but that's beside the point. I'm getting there slowly. Small steps, right? It's all about the progress. Yep, small steps. But I haven't yet printed a single photo for 2019. So do you think I have a few options. I can either just keep powering through with 2018, and I think if I really get my wriggle on, I can have it done by May, maybe. Or do I pause and print 2019 and start doing 2019? Or do I just print 2019 so that January and February are done, and go back to actually completing the pages for 2018? Let me know your thoughts, because I've done a few things in the past and they've all failed. So I'm looking for some advice from my fellow scrappy peeps, because yeah, I'm a bit stuck there. So now I'm going through and adding, everything was very chipboardy, and so I wanted to add another type of textured sticker. So I've got some puffy hearts. I seem to have accrued many half packets of puffy hearts, I think because a lot of the time in my monthly citrus twist kits, I was getting beautiful puffy stickers and using half of them, but then the packet just hangs around. So I'm really trying to use those up and just try to colour coordinate where I can. I really like the look of the heart on top of the cake. And then I've had this little panda. I've had this sticker sheet from, now which crepe paper collection's that from? Could be Willow Lane, possibly, or Gather, one of the ones. But I'm left with the colours that I don't reach for, the yellows and the greens, but they're not, it's more like a mustard and an olive, which of all the shades of yellow and green are the real two that I struggle with the most. And so they've just been hanging around, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I can use them. I think this sticker sheet may finally need to there's only about 6 stickers left on it, so I think it's had a good life, it's had a good run. It's time to accept that I've tried to use them as much as possible and move on. I wish Archie was a little bit older so I could just give them to him and he could stick to his heart's content. He loves stickers, obsessed with stickers. However, he doesn't quite get that if you stick them on stuff and off stuff too many times, like your forehead or your shirt or your toe, then they lose their stickiness, and he gets very frustrated when they lose their stickiness. I totally understand that, because I too get frustrated when they lose stickiness. There's a glue explosion right there. I really love this girl with the blue hair. There's something about her. I think it's the mixture of the black and the white with the blue. That blue colour actually sends me back. That was my favourite colour in high school, and quite often my bestie and I would wear outfits, places that were that same blue at the same time without planning it, and so that became known as our electric blue colour. So I have a soft spot for that bright blue. So then, as I've been rambling, I'm just sticking some more things. So these are really easy to make. So step 1, grab some tags or some baseline, and someone has started lawn mowing outside. Why is it every time I go to film a voice or record a voiceover and my neighbours feel like it's the perfect lawn mowing time? It's a hot day, peeps. Go inside and cool off. Wait to lawn mower another day. Oh, Aaron has just kindly closed all of the windows, so hopefully that will drown out the noise. It's such a loud lawnmower that it sounds like a motorbike. It's ridiculous. Back to the embellishments. So I decided I'm in a real sprinkly phase at the moment. I've been putting them on everything for a while, but I'm really in an intense, like, peak sprinkle phase. And so you'll see a lot of them pop up, and it was really fun to kind of have a play with contrasting the black and the white as well. So I may do like black writing and then some white sprinkles, or vice versa. So like I was saying, this DIY embellishment project, you could break it down into a few different steps. So step 1, gather some sort of backgrounds, some tags, some cards if you wanted to do cards, some 3x4 PL cards, whatever you're using as your base. Step 2, slap on some paint. Step 3, add some collagey ripped bits and pieces. Step 4, add some big stickers like chipboard stickers or something large. Step 5, I think we're up to, add some smaller stickers. And then step 6, add some tiny word stickers if you'd like, and some doodly bits and pieces. I really love this little one. I am definitely going to use that for Archie's birthday. I'm going to save that up for Archie's birthday later this month. And I used a combination of pens depending on how thick I wanted the pen stroke at that point. So for this one, I really wanted a thick pen stroke for the writing, so I used my food ball, and then for the border I just wanted nice and thin, so I just used my Pilot G2. Is it G2 or G7? I get it wrong every single time. I'm sorry, peeps. And I love the way this card turned out, and it makes me want to use it on a page. The page may not be a yellow page, but it really makes me want to use it. Oh, and I forgot, the final step after all of that was I added twine and a bit of Heidi Shine, you'll see in a little bit, to all of these tags as well. So if you want to do that, you can add that as a final step. I definitely would recommend doing any doodling or writing on the tags before you get near any splatters, just because your pen is more likely to survive if it's done before the splatters, because as much as I go to try and avoid wet paint or wet splatters, my pen just seems to be magnetized and attracted to it and just rides on right through it, and I kill pens very quickly. But yeah, it was a fun one to make. I think I might do another one maybe near Christmas time and do some Christmassy themed tags, because I think they are really handy to have, even if you don't do scrapbooking, to use them as like cards, or to use them as gift tags on presents as well, because quite often we seem to give awkwardly shaped presents to people, and sometimes it's hard to wrap something, so you could just put a bow and a cute little gift tag and kind of make it a bit special, as something a bit different. This one was another one that, like I said, those party hats are something that I really struggled to use. This one in particular turned out very crazy coloured. It was very bright and colourful, and my eye wasn't really resting on anything, and so I felt like I needed the black tiny words to kind of calm everything down a little bit and just slow down the colour, because you had the really bright red of the background, and then the multicoloured hula hooping people, and then the arrows and the cake and the everything. So it did just need a bit of calming down, and then adding the black sprinkles on top also just kind of helps mute the background a little bit, because things got a little colourful. This one here, I love that background so much. So it started off as pale pink, and then it started off as, what did it start off as? It started off as blue. Yeah, that's right. It started off as blue, and then I put the watery hot pink with a touch of yellow over the top, and I love it. So I'm going to try and replicate that again. I'm not going to be able to replicate it. Don't you hate that when you do something as a bit of a fluke without meaning to, and then you can never get it to look the same and repeat it the same way? I really would love to do it as a journal background, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I've said it. I think I have. I finished my junk journal. Did I tell you guys that? I think I did, because I did a junk journal video. I finished my junk journal, so I'm looking to make another one very soon. I'm debating which size to go with, if I want to go with big or small. I'm still trying to figure that out, and I'm very close to finishing my Use It Up journal as well. I think I might do a journal session maybe in April over here on Patreon, and try and do as many pages as I can in one sitting, because there's a lot of half-finished things there that just need some finishing touches, a focal image, a bit more stenciling, something to rein it in a little bit. So this one, I love that panda on the cake. I don't know if the panda's happy about being on the cake. Sometimes with these animals that come in collections, they don't always look the happiest, do they? This panda's he's a little unhappy that he's been shoved on that cake. I'd rather see a nice happy panda, but we can pretend that he's happy. I found it a little bit difficult to do the sprinkly bits with the black food ball, so I kind of did a combination. If I accidentally reached for that, I would do some of like the hearts and the little plus signs, the chunkier bits, and then I went back with the thinner Pilot G something pen, G2, it has to be G2, and I did just like the little bits on top. So then I think that I'm going to, the trouble that I have with DIY embellishments, and let me know if you're the same, is that I love making them. I can get a little carried away and get a too big a stash when I make them, but I've got to keep them in eyesight to remember to use them, because unlike say a sticker sheet that you've looked at 1,000 times, not 1,000, but you know, at least 10 times, a sticker sheet that you've looked at a bit, or maybe a scrapbooking collection that you're really familiar with, the colours and whatnot. The DIY embellishments are a little bit harder to familiarize yourself with, and so a tip is to getting them actually used is to just keep them in a little dish on your desk or on a shelf close by to your wherever you work, somewhere where you can see them and just really easily flick through them without having to, you know, dig into a box or rifle through other embellishments. Try and keep, I find it works for me, is to try and keep my DIY embellishments separate. So hot tip. They're all done. I love, love, love the way they turned out. I'll show you my favorites when I get to them. This one's a little wild and multicolored, but I think it will suit a particular page. I love these two. I really, really love these two. And I didn't think that I was going to love the yellow with the pink, but I really do. And then this one on the left with that background that I will try and replicate. I'll let you know how it goes. It's probably not going to be as successful as that one. I love the girl. I think that's biased because I love that chipboard sticker so much, and also that painted paper I've been hoarding for a while. These two are just really bright and colourful. I think they'd make really good gift tags because they'd stand out against, say, some wrapping paper or the present. I love these two little ones. I'm a sucker for, you know, smaller tags, and these two are really sweet. All right, peeps, I hope you've enjoyed this video. You could also try these DIY embellishments, not with a birthday themed stuff, but just with everyday things, or you could do Valentine's themed or Christmas themed or any other time of the year themed, or just make them nice and colourful. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.